proceed with caution as you enter the symphony. Degrees of punishment increase intensely. Syndrome was caused by the deadly dramas, but the battle was won by swords being strong. Slicing with a rifle from the international.
Yo, I'm about to bring back an old joint that I used to do. A build that I used to do on my other page, and I think it's important that I bring this back. It's called God of Awakening God. So this is the title. / I start here. You know, I ain't got no problem with the stories are old and what that really looks like. I have a problem with the destruction of the context of how that came about and nobody having a real balance of that. Is you can go all the way into other cultures and nothing that we know is true. Everything is a difference. This time right here, I really believe more over than anything, and people keep wanting to gravitate to some particular energy. Everybody want to go somewhere, you know what I'm saying? I do it too. I represent, look, I got the black Buddha, the black Naga on my chest. I represent different values. It's like you learn something, it rises you, and then you put it down. You know what I'm saying? What is that for? Why is the knowledge like there to serve you, and then later it's to be let down or put down? Well, ultimately, you learning these things because these images have completed a value. I can follow different images that haven't completed nothing and end up in a bad situation. We do that all day. It's how people end up in jail or dead. But that's normal. When you start connected to higher values of different self and premise, it shows that you needed that guidance because you couldn't see through your own blockages to illuminate or light up your higher self and let that be a guidance. People want to be followers. I can't follow nobody, yo. And the more the more you go in the depth of understanding, you are growing the spiritual value of yourself. You're growing the spiritual concept of you. Once all that electrical energy that helps you move around, give you synapses and all that, once it builds to a level and you can lay that spiritual energy, key, spiral energy, life force, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, you can lay it around you and in you and your muscles, you become something different. That's the breakdown to everything. I don't know how it's going to look when it happens for you. The solar energy, the sun blood that comes down from the universe directly. The sun blood is charging up the solar energy that give you life. Depending on the blockages through the refract of your diamond, of your particular jewel that you filter the light through, it's going to manifest a refraction of light as you being something different. This is the manifestation of light particles. This is why they say your DNA changes to another aspect. Right now, I'm manifesting as this, with the light refracting through me. You are manifesting as that, with light refracting through you. When it charges up and it gets more, and I can spread it around the evenly surfaces more frequently and charge those energies at the same time, what you think gonna happen? What's dope about the Indians is they got a chance to see indifference. What they saw was shocking to them. They saw things with different arms. The retrospect of light frequencies multiplying. We can break that down to a scientific aspect, or we can keep it into the aspect of how somebody just was able to comprehend whatever they was able to see. Either way, they still fall in the same retrospect. Your comprehension is your knowledge. Your knowledge changes to wisdom as you gain higher levels of comprehension. That's understanding. But you personally have energy within you, and the energy within you needs to come and be able to rise outside of the physical. The physical is weak. It is the breakdown, and it never came in a pretense. It only came to carry. It's the bag. It's the bag. It's the bag that carries the spirit. We are the bag. We are the important bag, the handmade bag. We the gator, we the gator bags. We the Birkins. We carry something important. And that thing that's real important that we carry can be grown by you. It can be changed by you in so many different ways. Your next level of growth might be something different in your subconscious. You might see yourself as something different. Unbeknownst to anybody else, the context of how you carry yourself is where you merging. This is the expectancy. This is how energy goes from one point to another. You see it working through the decisions of people. No matter what, you can see it working. Some energies, the way they merge on a, it's like you rushing. So while you moving, you going so quick, you know what I'm saying? You missing a lot of stuff. You just snatching and going. So you missing a lot. Some of us, we sit back, we take a little bit more time. And while we taking our time, we grabbing so many more attributes. Boom, boom, boom. Give me all that. Give me all that. Give me all. I want all that. Let me get that too. Let me get that. Let me get that. So when we come back into the next life, you thought we had a lot of skills this time? Nah, we're going to have 100,000 more skills times 10. And it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more peaceful. You're still going to have your detriments. But it's like the more you fight here to go forward, that's 10 years growing, stacking on your equivalence. What is that? What is that? I don't even know. It just felt good saying it. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Oh, that's funny. Well, ultimately, you run around here and you say any European words you hear. And that's not funny to you. They say, show you in your face, you spoke a whole nother language. And they beat you and stuck a book in your face and beat you and stuck a book in your face and beat you some more. And then took it from you and say, nah, you can't read. Don't worry about what we talking about. And then some dude, they put a movie out and some dude said, let us flee. Let us flee. See, it's crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what? That I never even liked that. I never even liked that movie, right? Because I'm like, yo, so you mean to tell me in this movie, the concept was the two realities was different. And then you brought somewhere where you're not in this aspect and then told to concept a reality of these people, thus understanding the indifference you say you want, would they aspire or retrospect to be that level of separation from them, which would be called freedom. Because they say that. So they say they want to be free, right? So then in your mind, it registered as, you know what I'm saying, separation. The only freedom that's for individuals separate from their natural place is to be in their natural place. That is the only freedom. So if you can't live naturally with no regard, then there's not a such thing as freedom. So when you said you wanted to be separate from the pain and the trials, you told these people for them to make freedom for you. And they created a level of freedom by keeping you within standards. You are a divine being. Your spirit is divine. You cannot be charged for your wrongdoings when you are going towards growth. When you're growing towards growth and you're trying to grow, you're going to make mistakes. You're in class. The teacher ain't going to bust you across the head because you made a mistake. He ain't going to punch you in the stomach and say, spell it right. He ain't going to pop you in your face, say, do it again wrong, I'm going to hit you again. He ain't going to say that. He going to say, listen, let me show you how to do this. It's okay to make a mistake. My nanny used to say that. It's okay to make a mistake as long as you learn from it. Don't be upset that you went through these things. Learn from it. You are the most intelligent being carrying an intelligent spark, a universal principle. The divine energy outside of you will become out. The divine energy inside of you will be outside of you. You will merge a level of that in sync with your body motions and physicality, which will grow a level of different protection because you're strengthening a level of infinite energy. You have it, but it hasn't filled up to spark another level in you to where it turns on to infinity. To when that first level it sparks. This is why they keep telling you to send that oil up. You got a life expectancy. Every month, your alignment hits to where you can rise your oil, subsequently charging your body. Why do they give you an opportunity to do this every month for your life expectancy? Well, if you're capable of doing this every month for your complete life, before your life ends, you will deify. You will become, everything will grow and stretch at that moment because of what you have condensed. You have condensed the universal sacred oil inside of you. It's so much now, your body has to stretch. That same oil contains everything inside of it to build up, the building blocks of life. Everything. Times 10. So what you think if it gave the energy for a baby to merge inside the womb to come from a fetus into a body with bipedal arms and fingers and legs and appendages, and then out of that to have you grow, via time and space, and then get to a subsequent value and then start decreasing. Well, the body wasn't producing it, and when you came out, you had so much in you, in the mitochondria, also gaining from your parent, to where that's why some women die, because they don't have enough. It's like the baby takes so much of that. It takes that pineal energy, that life force energy, that sacred oil, so they can have life. That's why the woman be so weak. Why you think they do spinal taps and all that? You know what I'm saying? That's where it's running up and down the 33 vertebrae all day, about to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like this science is different. They ain't gonna never tell you this, but this is the whole thing is to stay away from. Don't let nobody get up in that area. You know what I'm saying? That's sacred. That's why you can't even get to it like that. You can touch all right here, you all up on here. But if your arms was reversed, you'll be able to do the same thing back there, but you can't even reach that part of you. Think about it. Divine don't make no mistakes. Why Divine made it incapable for you to reach your spine? It's not for you to deal with. You see what I'm saying? And it's not for you to interfere with also. We think everything go this way for a certain reason. Divine don't make no mistakes. People do. You can't touch your spine and everything back here because it's not for you to deal with. You can a little something. That's all you can do. You can't do no more than that. If Divine seen it necessary for you to deal with that part of you, your body will be able to move around and do all types of craziness. And still the ones who can do that still can't get back there and do nothing. It's not like you turn your neck around and see. Some people can. They can do some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a normal thing, is what I'm saying. And ultimately, understanding that how the universe puts you in a pretense, it speaks to a value of allowance. So that means you have to allow that to take place so you can get to the next level. That's up to you. But they ain't going to teach you that. So what they say is, as long as they don't know, we can feed them other stuff. We can give them this, that, and the third. They ain't going to even know we destroying the process. Let's throw some acids in there. Let's throw more salts in there. Let's create something called sugar. Because see, back in the day, sugar wasn't even a word. They just said sweet. Even when they bought stuff, you got sweets, sweet bakes, sweet stickies. Yeah, facts. Everybody want to say God and goddesses. The God would be a Germanic term, which would be for good, or the Norse understanding, which means the one who collects the souls after the war, right? And that was deep to me, and I had to really think about that for a while. And I'm thinking about like a war, like they having a war and everybody start fighting, and then they come down, they scoop up these bodies, right? They scoop up the souls. I'm like, nah, that's not it. It's something deeper than that. And then it hit me, boom. It's like, you have a war inside of you. Once the war inside of you is over, your spirit can rise. Once the war in you is calmed down, once the two hemispheres in you is done and you have gained the middle and complete, your spirit can rise. This has everything to do with the sacred chakra. It has everything to do with the oil. It has everything to do with the going within self. This has everything to do with, you know what I'm saying, all of that. Look, I ain't going to even hold you. But the divine being that you are, whether you want to deify yourself, call yourself God or whatever, king, whatever you want to call yourself, supreme being, you are all that. But don't be put in a box by how the world wants to solidify this knowledge. See, the problem is these are the only options that are given is what the world wants to solidify this knowledge as. You are nothing of the world and of the world in all things. And the reason why you can't be labeled by the world because you were recreated. But you will be better ones. In the history that you leave behind, the notion of truth that you leave behind, the pathway that you make, that you stand on, will be different from the days of old. And you have to know the days of old will not be your direction you will go. But this is what they want you to learn is the reason for the movies and the stories and the books. They hope you pick up on these things and you hold them somewhere deep down in your subconscious to where naturally you react in these ways of script. You are not scripted. You are divine. I am Naga. ERIEL NAGA, God of awakening gods. You already know the vibes.